What's up, guys and gals? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest chapter review, chapter 200 of Yona of the Dawn. Really? I mean, you already made a live stream about this, Griever. What the hell are you doing here? It's like, well, I see all these other channels do this, and I don't get it because I never liked doing that. If you're going to live react to things, I'm interested. Let me see you live react. If you're going to review. I've never found myself, though I've followed many YouTubers who have done this, I find myself, I either gear myself towards one type of video from that YouTuber or another. I'm not a big fan of getting both. Does that make sense? I understand some people love live reactions. I understand some people love reviews. But I never got the idea, the concept of going through doing a live reaction and then 3 days later posting a review. It's like, I think I already got all your thoughts. Most of the time I've found is that people make the review in case they felt like went too long to beat the YouTube algorithm maybe, and also just to correct some things, because I've made multiple mistakes on my first, whenever I live react to things and stuff. I always make mistakes and assumptions, and then I correct myself after the fact. And some people call me out in the comments, and I go, yeah, I said that, I shouldn't have, blah, cancel me. All right, so either way, this video is going to be relatively short because I'm not going through the chapter here because I already did live react to that, right? So instead, this will be counted as a review. I'll make the thumbnail and the whole bit. But if you want me to go page by page and talk about every single instance, go check out the live stream. I know it's extremely long. Skip some parts if you're bored by my tangents. I did a lot of tangents. The live stream did not turn out the way I expected, so this is why the point of this video. To also apologize for my bitchy attitude during that live stream. I expected, with Yona being probably my most, the term profitable doesn't really work here since I don't monetize, but let's just use that for the sake of me trying to think of another synonym for that. It's my most lucrative. I did it anyways. My most lucrative in terms of comments, views, etc. For the most part. Shumatsu no Valkyrie does fine, One Punch Man, other things do fine, but that is my cash cow, if you will. So, that being said, I expected when I dropped the idea, the hint, for now almost a month or two, that I would be doing a live stream for chapter 200 that was coming up. I got a lot of praise. I got a lot of people saying, yep, in their big comment, and stuff saying, hey, looking forward to that live stream, chapter 200, that'll be great. There was a lot of things that went into that that just didn't pan out. There was a lot of circumstances as to why it was, well, at the end of the day, it wasn't a very good turnout. I expected this to probably be my best turnout live stream to date, and to have it be mediocre at best really put a downer on my attitude and my mood during the live stream. So I just want to apologize for that to anybody who watched the whole thing, who watched it during, and had to listen to me go, well, I guess this doesn't really matter stuff. Of course it mattered. Of course it mattered. I just wasn't feeling it after realizing that that hit I thought was going to be a hit wasn't so much a hit, right? So that being said, anyways, as far as reviews go, as I said, I'm not going through this page by page. This won't be a 20, 30-minute video. But I just want to say a couple of notes about what I took away from the chapter. Number one, go check out, if you haven't already, go check out my milestone video that was released last week. Because it'll explain my opinion on milestone chapters. Because a lot of people had some issues with the idea that chapter 200 was not that great. There was a couple of that thing. That's why I made that video before I saw or read the Yona chapter, the One Piece chapter, all that stuff. Because One Piece, 1000 is coming out. We got chapter 200 of Yona, right? So I wanted to make that video and explain how I felt and how the evidence shows what a milestone chapter means to us and what it means to the mangakas who are writing our stories for us. So, or their stories for us to read. So, if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out because a lot of people were disappointed by this chapter. I didn't think the chapter was that great, but I didn't think it was that bad either. I thought it was a mediocre chapter at best. 6, 7 out of 10. Nothing too great, nothing amazing happened. There was no big revelation. I didn't like the things I did like was, number one, what some people were talking about in the comments, that I misunderstood where this was going based on, this chapter, let's say it was 30 pages. The first half of that chapter, the first 15, 16 pages were leading me into the shoujo trope idea that I was uncomfortable with, that I did not like, and I was like, don't do this to my favorite characters. And it was happening before my eyes, page by page and minute by minute. And when we got to the end and I misunderstood, I did a whole tangent, a whole rant, probably 8 to 12 minutes, just ranting about why this would be terrible. And then they flipped me on my head. So I won't criticize that part of it. I will praise the fact that number one, I'm feeling like Buzz from Home Alone here. A, 2, C, whatever. I don't want to criticize that section of it because that's one of the good takeaways from this. Number one, Hawk didn't fall for the obvious shoujo tropes. Oh, I'm here to rescue. Oh, she's laughing. It seems all right. Clearly she doesn't need me. Oh, wound the heart. I am not needed. I'll jump on a train and leave Japan forever. They're fun in shoujos that that it's happening, but there's a big lacking of shoujo tropes in Yona. That for some people, there was a comment in my live stream video about saying I kind of want a few more of those. And shoujo tropes are fine, same with shonen. But when abused and overused and too many of them, it can be a little cookie cutter. So I'm really happy about that. But this whole chapter was leading us into that. It's like, oh, I was mistaken that Hawk was here and now soo-won is this. And when he actually meets soo-won and stuff, or when he finally meets Yona, Yona knows it's him, he rushes away from him instead of being overjoyed. And, everything was being set up. At the beginning of the chapter with the whole, they're clearly engaged, she's the future queen and stuff. Everything was being set up for Hawk to follow the classic main character or main love interest of a female character to misunderstand the situation, to misunderstand the reason. And it was biting at my heels. The best part of this chapter is the fact that wasn't even his concern. That's not even on his radar. And I underestimated Hawk. I was telling everyone not to underestimate Hawk, and I did. I completely forgot who I was goddamn dealing with. This is Hawk, the Thunder Beast. He is a Chad imp. He's a simpad. He is so Chad, he's simp, and he's so simp, he's Chad. He is the man. So I underestimated him. That's my fault. But I was happily mistaken that he didn't give a shit about that. None of this stuff bothered him in the slightest. What did bother him at the end of the chapter was soo-won. Soo-won looking ill. Soo-won looking weak. And Hawk is there contemplating. He's looking down. And he's going. And jae-ha's talking to him, thinking that he's like, was Yona not what you expected? What's wrong with, the pretty lady? What's going on? And Hawk's just sitting there going, when did he ever look so damn weak? And now there's a mixture of emotions. There's a cauldron full. There's a goddamn souffle being made in this cauldron of crazy balance of emotions to make this thing either deflate or rise. This is the best part of the chapter, by far, because it's Hawk for a number of reasons. Number one, ignored all that Yona crap. Misunderstanding for Hawk, pshaw. Number two, the fact that you can take this in so many ways. That's why I talked about the cauldron of emotions. You can take this in so many ways. That soo-won himself looking that weak and Hawk noticed it. So I don't even think, a lot of people have told me in the comments, did soo-won even notice Hawk? Nobody seemed to. Now, there was also, a couple of people did also bring up the fact that where the hell are Hawk's supposed bodyguards? Like, he's just wandering around freely in disguise. Yeah. You know what? Poetic license with that one. Forget it. Let's just assume, as I said in one comment, that he went to the throat of the world and he was stabbing those bearded bastards from behind with sneak skill, and he was hitting 100 sneak, hit legendary, 100 sneak again, legendary, 100 sneak again, legendary. Let's just assume Hawk went to the throat of the world, okay? Let's assume he glitched Skyrim. All right, so assuming all that, with the fact of the matter is that doesn't matter, is that soo-won not only realizes or Hawk realizes soo-won looks so weak, but he doesn't seem very happy about it. He's shocked. And it's very difficult. Like, it took Yona a long time. See, Hawk immediately went to the anger. And he held on to that anger for a very long time. But we've slowly seen that wall of anger about soo-won crack, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. You know, that wall of anger he immediately put up over the anger, the betrayal, the murder, everything. Hawk put that up. Yona went through sort of the 5 stages of grief with that, right? Hawk did not. Hawk was stuck at that anger section. And I'm not saying they're going to follow the 5 stages of grief that is very classic, but now Hawk is going to be, he's got confliction because he's going to be concerned about his old friend. He loved that man. That man was his best friend. He's going to be extremely concerned about him, and he's going to hate himself for being concerned, and he may or may not try to push it down, or he might try to bring it up. The interaction between Hawk and soo-won that everybody was hoping would happen in chapter 200 will be pushed, it looks like, but we will eventually get at that interaction. Hopefully 2021 will be kind to us in that way. And that is going to be the highlight chapter of that year. Hawk and soo-won actually sitting down and having a talk. And now I don't mean 2 pages or 3 pages. I mean, I want half a goddamn chapter. I want them to lay shit out on the table, to speak frankly. You know, we need that from these two. They both desire it so much. He doesn't want to hate his best friend, and soo-won never wanted to betray Hawk. So, here's what it is. But they're still in this situation regardless of their individual selfish desires. So, that is the background of this. I'm sort of glad because I've always felt that the relationship between Hawk and soo-won has been one of the strongest running elements, almost more so than the Yona and Hawk budding romance aspect. I always felt that soo-won and Hawk had a bromance in the background that we've always loved, and it's never really brought to the forefront. It's always a background. It's always a subplot. And now it's sort of being shown to us slowly but surely, and we've had hints in other arcs, but now we might finally get something out in the open for us to fully enjoy. So if nothing else, I stand by my points about the characters acting uncharacteristically. I stand by my statements about jae-ha and Yona not being themselves and all the characters and stuff. But Hawk has remained true, and I've enjoyed that. Soo-won has remained true. So let's put our faith in the 2 main characters, in the 5 dragons and the Happy Hungry Bunch. Or the Darkness Dragon and the Happy Hungry Bunch, of course. But let's put our faith in the dragons. Let's put our faith in these 2 staples of the series. And hope in 2021 we get some goddamn greatness out of their relationship, out of the developments that will happen as a result of that relationship, and see what comes to fruition. So, this chapter or review wasn't so much a review as you guys can tell. As I told you at the beginning, I didn't really intend it to be one because I never liked when people sort of did that. I found it kind of boring. So I took this review on a little bit of a different, you could almost call it a discussion. But really, at the end of the day, that's what a review is. So I'm still going to label it a Chapter 200 review. Leave me your comments down in the section down below. I really want to see what you guys have to say about this. I stand by most of my statements throughout that live stream, in all honesty, though I was in a bitter, bad mood. But nonetheless, I still think I brought a proper argument and good points. And I really want to just ignore the bad apple that has been ever since Yona sort of made the decision to join them and all that stuff, and how there's been some confliction there. Let's just move on to greener and better pastures. Let's focus on Hawk and soo-won and go from there and see what happens. So I hope you guys enjoyed this shorter sort of follow-up to the live stream, live reaction, if you will, more so than a review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's always very much appreciated. This has been Griever. Drink responsibly as always. We'll see you back here for chapter 201 of Yona. I expect it to be pretty damn good. See you later, everybody. Peace out.